who is joining us to talk about social media and injecting some humor in your social media account. So she will be sharing the most effective way to use social media. She was a high school class clown that became a state trooper. Her use of photos, quick wit, ridiculous hashtags, and interesting conversation starters have grown her social media following to several 100,000. Her innovation and use of humor for the Illinois State Police social media account has created a new understanding in the community about what police officers and troopers are all about. She's humanizing the badge by entertaining, educating the public, and sprinkling a bit of humor in everywhere. So Tracy, with that, I'll let you take over, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm going to work on sharing my screen so that I can get this up. Share. And then I'm going to, all right, Tracy, slideshow. All right. Can everyone see a blue screen that has like a message board on it? We're good. Okay. That's the hardest part. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I hope this is educational for you, entertaining for you, and I hope that you'll take away something and be able to use it in your own world. So this is not specific towards law enforcement. I have been teaching this to school administrators. I've been teaching this to different organizations about how to get this done. So for those of you who have no idea who I am, my name is Tracy Lillard. I'm kind of a big deal. It's funny, you're supposed to laugh, but I know you're all muted. It's fine. It's fine. So all of this happened by accident. So about 6 years ago, 2015, I started saying to my department, we are living in 1986. We have got to get in social media. I don't know what the wait is, like we got to get there. And so with about a year's worth of begging and pleading, they finally said, sure, do some social media in District 10, which was my assigned district over in Pasodum, Champaign-Urbana area. That page quickly grew to about 55,000 people. Trace, why don't you do this full time for the entire department and run all the social media platforms and be the coordinator for the whole state? And P.S., could you also do a Trooper Tracy page? I'm like, what is a Trooper Tracy page? So I don't know. It's worked. Everything's working. This is what I do full time. It's pretty awesome. So I'm going to get through this and hopefully you guys will learn some stuff. So this is me. This is the professional me. That's what I would give like the newspaper or hey, the TV's calling and they want it like a photo. The Tracy that you see on social media, the actual Tracy Lillard, the real Tracy Lillard, that's me. I'm just a normal person. I'm 43 years old. I'm married to a trooper. We have a retired police dog. I've got 3 kids. I'm running every different direction for sports right now because I've got 3 kids in sports. So I am just a normal person like everybody else. And I think a lot of that shows through with the social media that I use. And I do that on purpose. I do that because everybody's tired of hearing somebody say, put your seatbelt on, drive the speed limit. So I try to make it fun, and it's hopefully helping humanize our department. So these are my dogs. The one on the left is the retired police dog. His name is K9 Yachty. He has about 10,000 followers on his page. He just retired. He's living his best life right now. If you hear anything in the background, it's probably our chickens. We have a lot of chicken. I'm here at my house, but we have like chickens and stuff. So sometimes they like to come to the door because they think they're going to come inside. So if you hear some stuff, it's them. Yachty eats people. Libby, on the other hand, she's our bird dog. She's asleep behind me on the couch, and she has eaten 6 chickens. So my kids are kind of upset with her right now, but I feature the dogs on the page for a lot of reasons. The dogs typically, all I could do, me a picture of your dog in the comments and the post will go viral, right? Everybody wants to share their pet. Everybody wants to share their dog. It's fun. It's engaging. So I started doing that, and then the public's like, well, tell us more about the canines. And so then now we talk about the dogs on the department. So this is my husband, Tom, and Yachty and some dope, and then that's Yachty and some dope, and those are some dope pictures. I'm going to make myself laugh a lot. It's fine. These are old jokes. It's fun. We don't show trophy pictures. This is a trophy picture. This is something that we would show our friends and family that is hanging in the man cave. We don't show stuff like this on social media. Couple reasons, but we just typically don't. This is just kind of just to introduce you guys to my family. These are my people. I grew 3 human beings all by myself. They are, well, the middle one there, I say middle, but you know what I mean. She's over 6 foot tall now. So I've got some pretty large children right now, but I started noticing that the more I share about me, the more people will say, well, you know what? Trooper Tracy said that it's super icy today and we probably should stay home. Or Trooper Tracy said, you know what, there was a lot of cars that crashed yesterday. Like, I think it built a lot of trust for me to start sharing me outside of the uniform. That's just me in real life. And it became, you know, a lot of people were like, Tracy, are you sure you want to do that? Are you sure you want to open yourself up to, you know, sexual predators and bad guys? And I was like, they see us at Panera and they're like, oh my gosh, you're Trooper Tracy's daughter. So it doesn't matter where I'm at. Umpires will turn around behind the plate when my kids are batting and they're like, hi, Trooper Tracy. So it is what it is now. And so my kids have become now, they've been featured on the news multiple times for this move over messaging and other things that we do. So why do we use social media? We use social media. News alert, ready for this? No one watches the news like they used to. Nobody reads the newspaper as much as they used to. They still do it. There's people that still read the news or read the newspapers and watch the news. I'm one of them. I watch the news probably 4 times a day. I like to know what's going on nationally. I like to know what's going on locally because that helps me address other issues that are pertinent. Unfortunately, the world right now is using this to get their news. They are waking up, they'll look at Facebook. And as my sister says, who is 10 years younger than myself, Tracy, if it's important, it'll be on Facebook. And I was like, oh, so that's how the world operates now. If it's important enough, the news agency will share it on their Facebook feed. Or if it's important enough, the news agency will share it on their Twitter page. So part of it was, she's actually a little bit right, but this allows us to be able to write the narrative. So I can say, hey, it's snowing outside. I don't have to wait for the news to tell everybody it's snowing. You know, I can tell everybody that it's snowing. Why is this going to benefit your agency? You're able to get information out to the public quickly. Is emergency information. It just depends on what your company is. You're able to get that stuff out. Hey, we got a free month of whatever, or hey, we have this. Social media is being used by pretty much every industry, right? Or every company in industry right now. So people use it as a news source. And then we can also provide important information for people to get information out. Somebody that's missing, an elderly person. It's a quick way to spread information. So a couple of examples. I'm no rocket scientist, but I think if drivers actually watched the road when they drove, there wouldn't be a bazillion crashes every day. Hashtag just saying. I started using hashtag, the other day I put hashtag try your bestest. People lost their mind. They were like, oh, the state police told people to try their bestest. Hello, like, why not? It's funny. It's verbiage that people would use all the time. Now the picture on the right, back before I was able to utilize like the meme maker. Now they have like meme makers. You can make your own memes and all that stuff. But before that, they just had like a coloring. The coloring was only on personal pages. It was not on any kind of other platform, any other pages. So I would go to my personal page. I would make a meme. I would make a little colored thing, make something silly. I'd screenshot it. I'd crop it, and then I'd make my own memes. Now I just steal people's stuff. Kidding. All right, hiding in plain sight. So a lot of our silly hashtags and stuff that we did was merely, hey, our department is sitting out in the middle of the interstate and we are still catching people well over 100 miles an hour. I recall Iowa State Police put out a thing last year that said, oh my goodness, we have already stopped 500 people for driving over 100 miles an hour this year. And I wanted to say like, Iowa State Police hold my beer, because I did a little search of how many tickets we'd written at that speed. And it was like something absolutely absurd, but we can do it like silly stuff here. Like we're out there in the middle of the day and we're still catching you guys. So we did that just kind of a little bit more, I would call that passive aggressive. And I have learned that I like doing that. So people have asked all across the country. I've been teaching this all across the country, which is bananas to me, because I'm just doing what I think works for social media. I've never had a class in it. I didn't study this. I have just been watching over the last 6 years what is working, and then I just try to either repeat it or I try to teach others how to do that. And now I have a team of people. By the way, PS, I have 34 Facebook pages, 3 Instagrams, and I think I'm at 11 Twitter pages right now for the department. And I oversee all of those. And then now I have a team of people that I kind of help mold them into, okay, I need you to do this type of stuff. I need you to do this type of stuff. And so I have a team of people, but I was like uno person for like 3 years, 4 years, 5 years doing this. All right. So how do I do it effectively? How am I doing this? If I had to bottle this up and teach it to somebody else, I have found these 3 non-scientific ways. Be funny, be engaging, and be complimentary. And so I'm going to go into each of these, and hopefully you guys will take from that something that you can do in your workplace. All right. So the be funny, there's all kinds of different things you can do. Schools, for instance, when I teach this to schools, the schools are like, well, what if the administrator's not funny? I'm like, that's fine. Find somebody that's just school secretary. Find somebody that's funny, see it before it gets blasted out to the parents and the students and stuff like that. So this picture here, I use it every year. I use it for Halloween every year. The picture is my husband wearing a hot dog costume, but you can notice his collar matches what I'm wearing today. He's wearing his uniform. My daughter, they didn't have relish costumes. They don't make relish, apparently. So I made relish all by myself with some black electrical tape. So I came home, that worked 3 to 11. I'd come home and say, when did they shower? When did they do their homework? Did you feed them? When did they poop? And that's how we parented, because we were both in law enforcement. So this particular day, I thought he was going to be off. And I had all these costumes planned out. We were going to go trick-or-treating, because every year we get dressed up. I mean, one year we were Bon Jovi. Awesome. We get this on and he goes, I'm going to work today. And I'm like, no, what? So he says, I'm going to work. I have to go to work today. Somebody called in sick. So he went to work. He got 15 kilos that day. He got one of the biggest drug arrests in his career that night. And so I love this picture because it brings so many good memories. You know, at first I was angry that he had his photo, and I will talk about Halloween safety, trick-or-treating. I can use this every year. So story time came about. Basically out of, I would call this another accident. I'm going to show you some examples here in a minute, but there is a certain way that we are not allowed to tell the general public what happens of course in an event. Maybe we have to keep some things private for the investigation. Maybe there's HIPAA violations and stuff. So we want to like keep a lot of that quiet. Well, when we have that, PS, there's like 19 people in the more button. So I don't know if they're like, they need to let in. They're up at the top. I don't know. Okay. So if we need to tell a story, we can do it in a fun way. We can say, instead of, well, then today this happened at work, we can do a story time. Like once upon a time, you know, we were way out in the woods and out comes the whatever. And so we could tell a story sarcastically, but also as a fun way for people to understand what the daily life of a police officer is out there. So I started sharing story times, and then people were like, tell us more, you know, when's the next story time? I can't wait for a story time. Pictures, the use of pictures is critical, because what are people mindlessly doing while they're sitting on their couch, right? They're doing this. They're doing this. constant. When you're constantly scrolling, you're waiting for something to catch your attention. So you need attention catching photographs. The hashtags also happen by accident. And sometimes the hashtag use based on Instagram and Twitter, and now Facebook is including in that. So I can do hashtag winter storm, hashtag law enforcement, hashtag, stay warm or stay dry, or hashtag turn your lights on. Then the hashtags started turning into hashtag stay on the road and quit crashing so I don't have to get out of my car in my snowsuit. You just mush a bunch of words together in a sentence and you just push it all together and you put a hashtag in front of it. What does it do? It just makes people laugh. That's all it does. There's no a hashtag attachment that if people click on it, they're going to see that somebody else said that. Now, intentional is it's just to be silly and to be funny. Now, people were doing a lot of in the beginning, Trooper Tracy, you're doing hashtags all wrong. And I'm like, hashtag, that's the point. Like I did it as a joke. So comments, a lot of comments. I'm going to show you some interactions here in a second with some examples of this, but comments is where a lot of the engagement happens. And then that makes your post go up to the top of the algorithm. And when your post goes to the top of the algorithm, whether it's been shared a lot, liked a lot, or comments a lot, it's now going to be seen by even more people. So a lot of comments, I wish I had time in the day to engage in comments all the time because the posts would just go crazy, but I don't have time for that because I'm doing so many different pages, so many different things. The use of a GIF, I didn't even know what a GIF was. I thought the word was pronounced GIF, like Jiffy, like peanut butter. I had no idea what that was. So I'm going to show you my favorite one, but those are fun to use too. And I've noticed that a lot of places are using those to interact with the public in their comments. Make education not seem like education. Instead of preaching stuff to people, if you tell it to them in a polite manner, they tend to take that a little bit better. Sometimes I'm snarky, sometimes I'm sarcastic, sometimes I'm just plain, what I've learned is in the feedback that I've asked people over the years, hey, what have you learned from this page? Why do you follow this page? Why is this page so successful? And the people will say, I'm learning things that I didn't know I needed reminded of, whether it be traffic safety or whether it be car seat safety or whatever the topic. They don't feel like they're being preached at. It's just simple reminders. And now I can actually I have had parents send me messages and say, I am a better driver because of this page, because now I'm so aware of what's going on around me before he's out on the interstate. The fact that people are driving 140, 130 miles an hour on a daily basis out there. You guys have no idea how fast these people are driving on a daily basis. So we try to tell you that in these pictures. And of course, some of the people are like, well, that's not a fast enough speed. I can go faster than that in my Hyundai, and I'm like, okay. And so then people start to take challenges and stuff. But what my intention is so that you guys understand that you might be driving the speed limit or a hair over the speed limit, but the guy next to you is going 132 miles an hour. And when he hits you, you will die. You cannot survive that crash. And so it just makes you a better driver being aware of what's happening around you. Oh, I got really mean. I didn't mean to get mean. Okay, then the last one is the use of emojicons. So there are more and more and more of those all the time. You just have to be careful which one you're clicking with your post. So next. Okay, so this happened. This was an accident. So I was teaching school. I was doing a lot of, but prior to doing social media, I did 6 years of safety education. So what that means is I would go into a school. I'd be like, hey, I need to talk to your driver's ed class. And then the driver's ed class, when I get done, they're like, oh my gosh, are you on Snapchat? And I was like, what's Snapchat? I don't know what that is. So now Snapchat's old and now they're all on TikTok, Kit Kat or whatever it's called. So when I was in the schools, I started using this. So I came home that night, did a little video. This was my first little video and it's 10 seconds long. I recorded it and then I put it on Facebook. And when I put it on Facebook, my friend back home sends me a text right before the 10 o'clock news. Tracy, your Snapchat is going to be on the 10 o'clock news. And I was like, no, it's not. And she's like, yes, it is. It was just in the teaser and it's going to be the top story on the Channel 3 news at 10 o'clock. And my hands were sweating and I was like, I'm going to get fired. So this played, okay? Get ready. Hopefully the audio works. Did the audio work for you guys? Nobody's saying anything. I'm gonna go with yes. Okay. Can somebody unmute and tell? Okay, good. Thank you, Sarah. Okay. All right. This thing sparked huge controversy. The department was like, awesome. I love it, Tracy. And then I had some retirees that were not much older than myself, but they were all about that hat and that patch and that badge. And we are not going to do things like that. But here's the thing. Our audience is who? Our audience is the general population, right? And so if this is the way to reach them using these social media platforms, then so be it. So I did these little Snapchat things for about a year and a half, and then I have weaned off. I don't do them anymore, but they are quite entertaining. So the next one, let me go back. The next one happened. It's not my most beautiful video, but it was the first viral video that I had.
My driver won't get out of your way. Are you following too close? If you can't see his mirrors, he can't see you. He probably doesn't even know you're back there. Why y'all up in his bumper?
So this video in and of itself was 10 seconds long. All I did was try to do a like funny thing about, hey, that semi driver won't get out of your way. He can't see, he physically cannot see your car. Your car does not exist because you're touching the back bumper trying to push him out of the way. And I'm like, how does the public not know this? How does the public have no idea that that's how this works, right? So I did this stupid little video. Well, what happened was all of these trucking companies across the country started following the page, and they're like, finally, somebody gets it. Now I do trucking radio show podcasts. I ended up having a trucking community ask, I want an award for a trucking agency, like the Illinois Truckers Association. I won an award last year. And what? Like, I'm not a truck driver, but what it is it's the way I communicate that information to the public. The truck drivers are like, thank you for getting this message out. All right. So this is my first and favorite GIF that I ever used. GIF. I don't know what the post was. It's irrelevant. The post had 5,900 likes, okay? 3,500 shares. For me, it's going well, right? This guy, Alex De Leon, don't know who he is, put, bruh, whoever runs the state police account is a savage, okay? Again, panic mode, my hands are sweaty. I was like, what does bruh mean? We don't use the word bruh at my house. My kids, I have 3 little girls. Like, we don't walk around being like, bruh, did you unload the dishwasher? Bruh. We don't say that. So I Googled it. I typed in Google bruh, and it popped up like Urban Dictionary or Wikipedia, and it said bro. And I'm like, all right, I got this. Then I get to the word savage. Again, not a word that we use in my house. I saw the word savage, you guys, and I literally was like, is this good or bad? So I looked it up, and the word means, pardon my language, the first word that popped up that said what savage is was badass. And I was like, yeah. So I went, I did a little GIF search, and I found Amy Poehler. And what she did was like this, right? Because the thing moves, like some of them move and stuff. And I'm like, it's perfect. So I don't need to say, hi, I'm Tracy Lillard, and I didn't know what bruh meant or savage. That's not what the public's looking for. The public's looking for, what are they going to say back, right? So that was what I said back. Look at the comments or the likes underneath my comment. 3,000 likes on my comment, which means to me, the public is reading the comments. So if you can engage in the comments, that's where it's at. So the one on the right happened from a story time. We had a 19-year-old female that shot heroin, wrecked her car, pulled the needle out. The tourniquet was still on. She's on the interstate, 2:30 in the afternoon on a Tuesday. And I'm like, what is happening with society that people think it's acceptable to shoot heroin while driving down the interstate next to, you know, mom and dad in the minivan taking their kids to soccer practice. I'm like, what is going on? So I had to figure out a way that I was able to get that information out to the public. I'm not going to share the press release because the press release just says 19-year-old female vehicle left the roadway for an unknown reason. Driver was arrested for driving under the influence of alcohol. But here's the thing, we don't have her tox results back. So she's not technically, you know, she was arrested for drug paraphernalia and drugs and stuff like that. But I don't have her blood results back, right? So I don't have, the press release is going to be boring on this one. So what I needed to do, this is what you're dealing with. At this point on Facebook, I had 18,000 followers on Twitter at the time, and I had 84,000 likes on that tweet. It's pretty incredible. Now on Facebook, the public went bananas, and some of it started going south. When I say south, I meant comments started going, oh, now you're going to make fun of people with addictions, and now this is an addiction thing. And now, so what I did is I flipped the narrative in the comments, and I provided addiction hotline numbers. I provided all kinds of that stuff as a tool for the people so that they could get the help they needed, because that post had gone viral at that point. All right, let me get to the next one. Today's Don't Drive Like a Knucklehead Day. It's not official or anything. Just tell your friends, like hashtag please try not to crash. Moline Police Department just posted a little bit ago. I shared it on my Trooper Tracy page because it's a riot. They said something like, criminals, please stay home because it's too cold to be outside and your grandma doesn't like it either. And it's like, just don't do it. Like, that's so funny to me. So bravo for Moline Police Department. So the one on the right, Bear Picnic, that was back when I was doing Snapchat. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to get people's attention as they're scrolling through to be like, what the world, what is she holding? What is this? Okay, see orange, construction zones. We talk about it all the time, right? Slow down, there's a construction zone, slow down. So I did these type of posts. These are pictures of stuff that I got from Google Images. And the one on the top left, I put that one out one morning because we were having lots of crashes between St. Joe and Champaign-Urbana. And it was becoming a problem every day. And I'm like, I don't know what the deal is with this. So I'm going to do something silly, as in like, hey, heads up, you know, keep your eyes peeled in the construction zone because we've got traffic backups all day. Well, what happened was then the comments were, oh my gosh, what milepost is this at? I want to go see it. Hey, can you take a picture next to it? Hey, Tracy, can you see if IDOT can make us one of these down south? IDOT's reaching out to me going, do you really want us to make you one of those? Because like, here's the thing, guys, this thing doesn't even exist. Like, it's not even out on the interstate. But what I did was I brought attention to that particular stretch of roadway. So now I got people looking for it. I got people talking about it, and that invested area so that people are having crashes. What it says, right lane closed ahead, what people read, right lane might be closed ahead. So just go ahead and stay in your lane and then merge over the last second if you have to. Okay, comments were things such as this. Well, I live in Oklahoma and in our state, it's this. Well, I live in Kansas and why can't you do this? And so all these comments are from all across the country, right? This is on the Illinois State Police page. Part of it is just, I'm trying to tell people like, figure it out, right? To get into your right lane. But what it did in the comments is people were saying what their state was. And my comeback in the comment was, people in Illinois can't even figure out a turn signal. Well, then the public went wild. They thought that was hilarious because now I'm making fun of people not using their turn signals. And then more and more and more comments. And what it does is now goes back to the original post, and whatever you add up there, whatever you add, whether you mess, you know, pay attention, whatever that content of the post is now getting seen by the thousands and thousands and thousands of people. Okay. So same thing with these, any kind of pictures that you can put. The one on the bottom left, I drew arrows. Hey, this is the sign, right? Take a wild guess what happened with this post, because it was cool, unexpected. That little black thing on the bottom, my spotlight that sits on my car window, that little, you guys can see it down there. It's got like a little handle on it and we can move it around, and that's what we shine in your eyes when we pull you over. That little thing right there, somebody commented, early on in the post and said, "Oh my gosh, am I the only one that thought that was an avocado?" And then it just took off from there. People are like, "Oh, the avocados are on sale at Meijer today," or, "Oh my gosh, I love La Pocienta because whatever the name of the restaurant is, because they have the best guacamole." People were commenting about guacamole, avocados, Mexican restaurants, and whatever, and all because somebody thought that thing was an avocado. Of course, my answer was, "I'll love me some avocados," and so I put, something in there silly about the avocados. But what it does is, again, that post is being shared because now in the comments it's funny. Tips, any kind of extra tips or tricks that you have. I put a lot of that stuff in with little emojicons just so that people can see it, because I want the grandma to be like, daughter that's going to school over there and she needs to know this. This is great information. So if you can provide good tips, good information to people, that's wonderful. All right. I used a picture of my 2 troopers in my district, and I used the CHIPS Highway Patrol. Every single California Highway Patrol district, Sacramento, LA, they're all following the page now. So a lot of this kind of stuff is just silly, but it's also it's relevant because it entertains the public. All right, be engaging. This is the second one. Now, when you're engaging with people in the comments, part of it has to be, again, a post that will catch their attention. So a live video is fun for law enforcement. It gets a little tricky, so it just depends on I'm not going to show a live video of a scene. Now, we did show a live video at a huge head-on school bus, and we had a school bus and a semi hit head on near Bloomington about 3 years ago. I did go live. I did not show the scene. I roadway behind me that was closed off, and I did a live video because that ended up making national attention because it was a school bus. It was a head-on crash, multiple fatalities. But that video, I chose the live because that was the fastest way to get the information out to parents of the students that were on the school bus, where the area was that they were going to pick up their kids, the fact that we had a reroute on the interstate, like that thing went crazy. But you also can do live videos where it's just something fun, where you sit down with somebody and you do a little live video and you talk about stuff. So live videos are interesting, but I have learned from the media that live videos need to be around 10 minutes long for them to be effective. Open-ended questions. So an example of an open-ended question that we did years ago was, if you were a trooper for the day, what would you write a ticket for? And so what we did that for was, we wanted feedback from the public of what the public thought was the problem. Do they think the problem is distracted driving? Do they think the problem is speeding? Are they tired of people not using their headlights? Like, what is it that the public sees around them that is the problem? And then what we can do then is to do enforcement details based on what the public is asking us to do. It's a very easy way to find out what they want, and they feel like they have a voice. One of the other things we did was, which roadway would you like to see the troopers on more often? Well, in this particular area where I'm at, everybody was complaining about this one stretch of road down between Sullivan and Mattoon. Hey, 121 is crazy in the morning, 121. And then some people would say, up on Route 36 or up on 57 near Rantoul, but the common denominator was Route 121. So what the troopers did is they actually were reading the comments. They didn't comment themselves because they don't want to put their names out there. But that next morning, it was on like Donkey Kong, and they went out there and they were smoking people left and right. So it builds trust with the community because now they feel like their voice is being heard, and it also validates what we're doing. We're trying to make the road a safer place, right? Some of the people that even said, hey, 121, guess what? They got stopped. Tough luck. All right, polls. Polls are not allowed on Facebook anymore unless you do them as a story. So if you're doing stories, which I haven't really dabbed in a whole lot, but stories does allow polls. So does Instagram, and so does Twitter. Memes. The one on the right, I use it every year because it's amazing and I don't want to change it. So hello, darkness, my old friend. Why are you here? It's 4 p.m. I don't use it today. I use it on daylight savings time, right? On the daylight savings time, because everybody's over there going like, yawn, what's going on? It's dark out, right? Make it so that it's relevant to the time. Answer their questions. If you can answer questions in the comments, the public knows that it's not just a robot that's pushing the information out. I am bad at that because I just can't, I physically don't have the time in the day to answer all the questions on there. And make people want to read the comments below. People will say, I'm just here for the comments, right? I put a picture of a speed limit sign up and I said, at what speed can you travel upon this roadway? People had no idea. They were like, no, really, what's the answer? Like how fast? And I was like, it says 70 and it says minimum 45. Like, what are you talking about? You don't know this. So then people started answering all these questions. Well, I thought you could go 86. I thought you could do 94 in a mile. I thought you could do 94 before you got arrested. Well, all these comments. So I put a picture of me eating popcorn in the comments and I'm like, I'm just here for the comments. Like, apparently we need to educate the public. Couple more, cars in the ditch, vans in the ditch, SUVs in the ditch, trucks in the ditch, 4x4s in the ditch, semis in the ditch. We repeat 4x4 trucks in the ditch. I did it because it's funny, right? Everybody's laughing because they're like, oh, they just called out all the four-wheel drive vehicles. Of course I did. Current road conditions. I just put a picture of Vanilla Ice. Now, everybody that's younger than me was like, who the heck is this guy, right? But everybody that's my age thought it was hilarious. Let's see, go ahead and share this with your friends so you don't take a picture of it while you're driving because that's illegal. And that was that Cousin Eddie Twitter's full. P.S. I'm on the board committee for all of the message boards to get the information out. I do not write all of them, but if people think that I'm writing them all, I don't write them all. I give input and suggestions, but they're fun. Only the casserole should be baked. Drive high. The one on the right, a beautiful sunrise. We just saw a BMW use a turn signal on the interstate. Looks like it's going to be a great day. They either laughed at it and they thought it was funny or they took offense to it. Either way, I thought it was hilarious. And here's the funniest part. It didn't even happen. Like, I was driving to Monticello to get to Springfield that day. And I was like, what would be something sarcastic that I could post that would make people laugh? So I chewed on this post for about 15, 20 minutes. And then I pulled over on an exit ramp and I typed that out. I made myself laugh. If I laugh, people are going to think it's funny. Sorry to anybody that's a BMW driver, but just saying. That's how Linda learned you can't fix your engine with essential oils. Essential oils is kind of a hot topic, right? Why not? If you don't know what to do at a four-way stop, just stay home. Life only gets harder from here. Use funny memes because they're engaging. Just be careful, or y'all be careful out there. Just saw this undercover canine using binoculars. This probably by far is my favorite picture. That's good stuff right there. So not really a whole lot to it. Just you don't even have to have a message with it. Just show something funny. People need to see funny stuff because the world is heavy right now and they need to see funny stuff. Bottom left, I'm not going to play the video. I'm just going to show you the people reached. 770,000 people reached. That was that day. I screenshot that night. That video is my reaction 3 days following a 9-year-old that was killed in a car accident. That 9-year-old was my daughter's friend. Devastating car accident. The person who hit her, you ready for this one? Heard a beep and looked down at his phone. That's it. He didn't text back. He didn't reply. He didn't answer the phone. He heard a beep. He looked down at his phone. That's what he told the trooper. I recorded this video. I was sick. I was sick to my stomach. And my boss said, don't post that. And I was like, I'm mad. Like, I'm mad that the public thinks it's so important to be on their phone. How come I can't? Why? And he's like, that guy hasn't been to court yet. And I was like, yeah, you're right. So I held it for 13 months. I held that video in my saved it. On the day he was convicted, I posted that video. That's how you get a viral video. You show passion, you show compassion, and you are honest with people. That video went bananas. The one on the right, Trooper Schumann, he and I just sat down. He's like, what are we doing? I said, we're doing a live video. And he's like, what are we talking about? I'm like, I don't know. I'm hitting record. So we sat and we did this fun little video and just talked about life and traffic and stuff. Luke Bryan, I was in charge of doing the plans for the traffic route and getting that information out to the public. All I wanted to do is meet Luke Bryan. So I did all my hashtags the whole week, like hashtag I just want to meet Luke Bryan. Well, I never got to meet Luke Bryan, but I found a cardboard cutout of him and I took a picture of it and that was on the front page of the paper. It was all over social media. It's funny. The trooper wearing the seatbelt, I did that on purpose, right? Get people's attention. Wear your seatbelt. When I asked the trooper to have his wife take a picture of him wearing a seatbelt, he sends me the first picture. The first picture, you see the wife in the background going like this, like trying to take a picture. She's wearing a bathrobe. She's out on her driveway wearing a bathrobe. She's like zooming in because he had mirrored sunglasses on. So I can zoom in and see his wife in the reflection. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Higgins, take your sunglasses off and send me a new picture. I'm in a hurry. I feel like I'm like, do I have until like, can I have like 10 more minutes? What time do you guys get out of here? Am I good?
Yeah, you're good. We do try to wrap up around 12:55. So you've got about 7 or 8 more minutes.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, I will hurry. Thank you. All right, so this one is just a variety of the different videos, writing letters to people, and I'm going to show you that here in just a second. Pictures, photographs, anything that's going to catch the motoring public's attention. That is how we do it. But because our focus is traffic. But if you're in fashion design and you want to show pictures of cute outfits and stuff, well, it's whatever your photo is to catch people's attention. Again, pictures, not going to go through them all, but pictures, and then I have narrative. So something that's going to catch their attention. Change the filter on the picture to make the picture more vibrant. SEED is a new app. It is free. It changes the color. It's like Instagram on crack. So the filters are absolutely incredible. So Snapseed, it's a new app. It's free. I would highly recommend it. Stop sign, I had to drive around that one for about 40 minutes before I could find one without a bullet hole in it. But I was trying to tell a story about a stop sign and we had some fatal crashes. School bus stop, just look at the reason I'm showing this is I want to show you the reach, 7,000 shares, right? If you're giving information that is educational, that can go across the board to the whole country. It's not just relevant in Illinois. Here's a couple of examples of a story time. So I just use the hashtag story time. So if you actually go to the district page and you type in the search bar, hashtag story time, it'll pop up all of our story times for the state police. The Amish community, we're in an Amish community where I'm at, near where I'm at. And so we did some house moves and shut roads down and stuff. And so the Amish community, we reach out, we do buggy safety and stuff like that. And we do that for a reason. It's relevant to our community. So be complimentary. The last thing is I have found out that instead of criticizing what everybody's doing, point out the people that are doing it right. If you can point out an observation of something you saw, then that is the type of post that the public really, really responds to. A lot of my stuff that has gone viral and been published in magazines has been these type of posts where I am just pouring my heart out and I'm just trying to explain, here's what I saw. This farmer, this truck driver, this guy on a motorcycle, like I do it. People have asked, Tracy, do you get writer's block? Like, do you think about this stuff? No, I see something, it touches my heart. I go home and I type it out and I just go with it. Now, this one here, I'm going to show you, this is the picture. This is the post. Okay. It's just a photograph of a school bus. It's the dashboard of my car. I'm going to read it out loud though. Dear bus driver, I'm guessing you don't know I was an off-duty state trooper following you all the way back to school from the away game tonight. It was a long drive with a load full of volleyball players. What you probably don't realize is how much I paid attention to your driving. Maybe more so since my baby was riding in your bus. Your speed never went over the speed limit. Your tires never drifted out of the lane. Your blinker always worked. Your hazard lights went on as your door opened as you stopped at the rural train track crossing. I commented several times to my other children in the vehicle how nice it was to see such a cautious driver. I asked one of them to take a picture of your bus. This comes into play here in just a second. I learned that your name's Randy. I know you don't drive the regular route after school, but what I do know is I'll be reaching out to the school with a letter of appreciation. As a police officer, I say thank you. As a fellow driver, I say thank you. And most importantly, as a parent, I say thank you. I can only imagine how stressful it is to drive a bus full of children. And sir, you have demonstrated that you do it extremely well. That post started going nuts, okay? People in the comments started saying, oh, I get it. You're above the law. You're a police officer. You take pictures while you're driving. Oh, I get it, right? Being awful. And I'm like, time for a mic drop, right? So I posted a screenshot of 77 pictures that my kid took from the back seat of the car, right? I was like, get a picture of the school bus, get a picture of the school bus, right? I put that. That's a mic drop. That's quit being a troll, right? Dear motorcycles, I'm not going to read it, but this right here, it's just me talking to them. People were like, well, if they did such amazing jobs as motorcyclists, then why didn't you pull them over and tell them? Oh, I don't know, because that's a violation of their rights. I can't just pull people over to tell them, you're awesome. I can't do that. That's against the law. I would be fired. I can't do that. So I tell the story about it. But then people started asking, like, oh, in the previous post with Randy, people were tagging Randy from Arkansas. Randy's like, I live in Illinois. Like, or I live in Arkansas. Like, that's not me. I don't drive a bus and whatever. But that post went all over the country. Panera. This girl bought my food at Panera. I cried my eyes out like a little baby. I wrote a story time about it. The dude at the window goes, I'm like, having my tears because I tried to get out of my car to go hug her, but I got stuck in the drive-through lane, like where the window is and like between my car door. And I was like stuck and my hat fell off. And I got back in and I wiped my tears and I took off my mirrored sunglasses because it's against our policy to wear mirrored sunglasses. But I put them on for the picture because I was like, ugh, right? I looked at him and I said, it's just so awesome to be appreciated. And he looks at me and he goes, everyone loves Mama Bear. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're 25 years old. Like, who do you even know who I am? But the thing is that means my message is getting out to all different ages. That thing, 71,000 views live. People were like, excuse me, Trooper, it's actually it's a combine, not a tractor. Because I said Trooper and a tractor. And they're like, that's a combine. And I was like, I know, my dad's a farmer. I know what it is. I was trying to use a play on words. Same with Trooper Tracy versus Sergeant Tracy, because it rolls off the tongue. Pictures, remember, get people's attention, take their pictures, post early in the morning, schedule your posts, catch the attention of your audience. Outside agencies, be very complimentary of other agencies. They're doing the same type of work. Use creative ways to show weather posts. I'm getting ready to do one here about people filling up their car with gas because we unfortunately have to drive around and make sure people didn't freeze to death on the interstate because the wind chill is negative 14 degrees and people are out driving around with no gas in their car. But I got to do it politely, but stay tuned. All right. Pictures of rainbows, educate. Anything that's going to show weather, right? IDOT, I compliment IDOT all the time on the work that they do. Fargo, North Dakota, it's the same temperature as Champaign a couple years ago. I took pictures of myself because I look like that girl, right? Same. Hashtag same. These are hashtags that don't even make sense, right? Post pictures of the scene without identifying people's information. I do that for a reason. That kid on the right in that car rolled over on his way to school over 100 miles an hour. I'm not posting that picture that day. His mom's probably blow drying her hair going to work, right? Getting ready for work. I posted it 3 days later when it was a Saved by the Seatbelt story. I'm not going to scare some parent at home because I'm taking a picture. So any type of images, remember, pictures are engaging. That's where you can get your information out and you can compliment people doing the right thing. This one here is the signs for the wrong way, right? We just had a wrong way head-on crash last night and somebody died up by Peoria. We had one the other day over by Pittsfield. People are driving the wrong way down the interstate. Like, how is this a thing, right? Pictures. Silly picture in the middle. I stole that one from the internet. Headlights, you'll see that until it's blue in the face. But what you're doing is you're catching attention. Headlight issues are a problem in Wisconsin. They're a problem in Iowa. And so once you get that message where you can start sharing it to multiple places, then that's where it becomes effective. Honesty is best. If people are asking you questions in the comments and you don't know, take the time to look it up and get back with them. Don't give them some fluffy answer. Invite them to like your page. You can do that very easily with looking at a post, seeing who liked it or how many people liked it. And then you click on that button and it'll show you that you can invite those people. That's how I grew my pages to 56,000 people in a matter of 8 months. Block profanity. You can do that within your own page. You can't block freedom of speech though, but profanity, you can filter that out. Ignore the trolls. Use negative comments as a chance to shine with your professionalism, whatever your agency is. Share major incidents. If you say, hey, there's a silver search, there's somebody that's missing a patient an elderly male has wandered away from a nursing home. It doesn't matter that you're not the police. Share it on your page. You're getting information out. So the public is going to be like, oh my gosh, right? Maybe you're a bank. It doesn't matter who you are. Share that information. And then now you're getting that even out even more so, especially if you're a company. Let's see, I'm going to skip those. Pictures of recruiting stuff. Make sure if you're showing like, hey, we're looking to hire at our law firm, you know, make it fun, interesting pictures. Don't be putting people to sleep. Let's see. Anything that's beautiful. I think the one on the left, boring. The one on the right, amazing. Okay. So just anything that's going to catch Tracy Lillard's attention, man, I want to recreate it. I want to redo this because these other places are doing amazing. This is specific to the law enforcement side of it, but pictures, sunsets. I'm thinking to myself, if New Mexico State Police posts a picture of a sunset in a squad car and it caught my attention, by golly, I'm going to be regurgitating that stuff on my page. Okay. This right here, if you want to take a screenshot of it, these are some of the pages that I run out of the main pages that I have. The rest of them are typically done by my team, but that has my phone number and my email. And if you have questions specific to this, I know we have a few minutes and I have not been looking at my chat. So hopefully if there's questions, I can answer them.
Tracy, we can read the questions.
And I cannot, I'm sorry. What'd you say?
We'll read the questions to you whenever you're ready. Just let us know. and
Yep,
we'll read this to you.
I'm all finished. So you go right ahead.
Well, thank you so much. You obviously are a storyteller. I mean, you mentioned that a couple of times, and you know, I think that's the key is that you are a storyteller. One of the questions is, do you use tools to manage your different social channels or the native tools?
I looked at Hootsuite. I didn't like it. I use Creator Studio. That is the one tool that I use only because I like to schedule stuff out ahead of time that I know is going to be going out. So I do use Creator Studio. There are tons of videos on how to utilize that. And then that way you can cross post and stuff like that. Me personally, I don't do any cross posting, but I do schedule my posts. But I also don't want to schedule every post because something could be happening. We could be having, you know, a bomb threat, right? So it has to be relevant, especially on the main page. But I don't use any kind of cross posting tools like that, but it's definitely helpful I partially just don't do it because I'm not very fluid in it.
No, that's great that you share your plan. It is good to pre-schedule and then be, you know, ready to just jump on when something comes up that wasn't planned. So that's a great tip, and Creator Studio is a good tool as well. You've mentioned a couple times that there are several different, you know, Facebook pages, Instagram pages, and on your screen you shared that you manage several. How do you decide when it's best to break those apart and, you know, fragment your audience, you know, into the different specialties? How did you decide how to do that?
That's a great question too. So the district pages was more so for traffic alerts, weather alerts, pertinent, like, hey, we got a hazmat spill and we need to shut the interstate down. It was more so district wise, just for the people that lived in the area so they could get real-time information about before they're traveling to work or stuff that's relevant to their area, even education stuff. Then I started doing like, okay, you know what? Investigations, they need their own whole new page. We've got a division of internal investigations that they're making big arrests. They wanted their own page. We have a recruiting page. We have a SWAT page. So a lot of that, it started getting really, really big. And at first I was like, this is not a good idea. But you have to remember the person in Chicago who's looking at the weather and the traffic and that kind of stuff does not care what it's doing in St. Louis. They don't care. So you have to keep those type of posts relevant to their area. But I started seeing that, okay, if our target audience is kids that are in high school and kids that are in college that are interested in being law enforcement, then they need to be on that recruiting page so we can start to really target our audience for that. And my Trooper Tracy page, I've looked at the demographics and it's everything. I've got young, I've got old, I've got everything in between. I've got truck drivers. I don't have a whole lot of trolls. I think that people are just loving the glitter and sunshine and butterflies. And I shared a lot of personal stuff on that page. I've shared the journey about my husband's 2 open heart surgeries this year. I've shared about my faith. I've shared all kinds of things, but I think that is what really draws people in. And I have a counterpart, her name's Trooper Liz. So if you're not following her, I highly encourage you to follow her. She is the 20-year younger version of me. We look alike, we act alike, we think alike. And I've convinced her, like, you need to be putting your stuff on a Trooper Liz page. And she's like, are people going to follow me? I don't have kids. I was like, you got 3 dogs. They're going to follow you. So I hope that explains just kind of branching off about the different types. And I also don't do the same kind of content on every single platform either. So we have to do press releases. A lot of that stuff is boring to people, but we push that information out because some people are aware. Sometimes I say boring, that press release is boring. Can I jazz it up? My director, the state police director, called me one day and he's like, Tracy, can you Trooper Tracy this up? I said, what is that, a verb? Are we Trooper Tracying things? Like, what is that? And he's like, like jazz it up, like make it fun. I'm like, no pressure. So a lot of stuff gets put in my lap to do. And I'm like, I don't like being pressured. So any other questions?
No, I think that's it. Thank you so much, Tracy, for sharing those great tips with us. That's really great feedback about, thinking about your audience, looking at your demographic and the different messages. Members, can you hang on just for 1 more minute? I have a couple of really important announcements, but thank you so much, Tracy. First of all, that was just awesome. And we're all so excited to have you today. So we really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Members, 2 quick things. Our next meeting is going to be March 11th, and I'm going to put a link in the chat in case you want to go register today. We actually got a national speaker. Her name is Amy Ballier from Killer Visual Strategies. She speaks to Fortune 1000 companies on visual communications, infographics, motion graphics. She's presented at Adobe Max and South by Southwest, LinkedIn Learning, the Seattle School of Visual Arts, and she's a columnist for Inc. And she's going to come and speak with us for no charge, members and non-members, on March 11th. So sign up today. And then I'm launching a poll. It's really important that we get your feedback. Someone let me know in the chat or just verbally if you can see the poll. There's just 3.5 questions. We really need you guys to give us some feedback on what topics you're interested in so we can plan for the year ahead. So 2 quick questions. And then the third question is, give us your top 2 or 3 topics that you'd like us to pursue. And if you have any other feedback on good topics, good speakers, throw those in the chat and our programs committee will follow up on that as well. I'm programs co-VP with my friend Kelly, and we're working on planning the next few months ahead. And Kelly reached out and got Tracy lined up for us today. So we appreciate that so much. I'll leave the poll up for a couple minutes. Please participate and help us make our chapter better. We really, really appreciate it. And I'll end the meeting in a minute or 2 after the poll results come in. If you have any questions, any feedback, throw it in the chat. And thank you so much. Have a great afternoon.